Hi, and welcome to our latest edition of Your City, Your Voice. I'm your mayor, Kevin Scarpati, and joining me here today are the directors, board presidents, treasurers, and a little bit of everything behind the scenes of Castle Craig Players, who has given so much to our community over the last 23, 24 years. They are located down here at 59 West Main Street. This is their playhouse. It seats almost 70 patrons. So for those who've been to shows here before, you know the type of show that they've put on. All-star casts in each and every performance. And as the founder, Warren, would say, this is certainly a jewel in Merredin's crown, and we're pleased to have them here on our show today. Joining me here is Melanie Del Sol, the daughter of Warren Steffen, who obviously founded this place. And we'd like to just thank you very much for being here. And maybe we'll just go down the line if you guys can introduce yourself and how you contribute or help contribute to the shows here at Castle Craig.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm Melanie Del Sol. I co-founded the organization with my father 24 years ago, and I wear many hats. I'm president and artistic director. I have performed in shows, I've directed shows, I've cleaned the bathrooms, I've painted sets. I pretty much do everything. It's sort of my second home, second job.
I'm Ian Galligan. I did my first show ever here when I was 21 years ago. And I performed for many years here, and now I direct here. And I'm also the vice president of the board. And yeah.
I'm Mark Lasella. I'm currently the treasurer of the board. I've been associated with Castle Craig Players since 2007 when I joined as an actor in my first time ever on stage, and that was in A Fiddler on the Roof. Today, besides being treasurer, I am set construction. I do a lot of everything, like Melanie said, for Wizard of Oz. Besides set construction, I am also in the show. I'm playing Uncle Henry, and I am, what's the third role?
Stage manager.
Oh, I'm stage managing this
Very
show as
important
well.
role, by the
So,
way.
yeah, so that job entails an awful lot, including wrangling some 20 cast members, including children and a dog.
So I want to thank you just for all the hard work that I know you put in firsthand, from not only working in shows with all of you, but serving on the board with you as well. I know it's countless hours, it's sleepless nights, it's emails at 2 a.m, which I get and don't always respond to, so I apologize, and I'll admit on TV. But if you can just maybe take us back a little bit to really when Castle Craig first started. It was not originally in this building, and the group that was behind it, and who we held a gala a year and a half ago,
When was it?
2014?
Yeah.
Our 20th.
Fall
year.
of 14.
and we saw a lot of those, cast members and members just come back into the fold. It was great to have them a part of Castle Craig again. So maybe just take us back, Melanie, to what that was like and how things all got started.
Well, my father was always a lifelong resident of Merredin and believed very strongly in revitalizing the downtown. And so he thought that by bringing the arts into Merredin, that might be a step in the right direction. So in 1992, he gathered a bunch of friends that he knew sang, and mostly people from our church choir. And we started this little group over in the annex of the YWCA. About the size of a closet, and we did our very first show there. We then would do Christmas shows and Broadway reviews for different organizations throughout Connecticut to kind of get our name out there and to raise a little money. And then slowly, we got this building from the city, and we started using it as a rehearsal space. Our very first big show was Guys and Dolls many years ago, not the one you were in.
That was just a couple years
Right,
ago.
that was, no, but it was, I don't even recall the year, but that was our very first big show in this building. And since then, we have, I very clearly remember having a conversation and saying, can we really do a big show like that in this tiny little space? And when I think of what we've done since then and the size of some of the shows, such as The Wizard of Oz, it's mind-boggling to me that we've been able to fit upwards of 20 to 30 people on a stage, and we've put on some of the great classics, some new, more modern musicals as well as plays and murder mysteries. So it's just sort of grown and grown and grown, and we still have some of the original people from 24 years ago, like myself and Dean and Maurice Poirier, and then we've brought all these wonderful new people in. And it is like a family. It is sort of our second home. It's our love. It's an all-volunteer organization. We put in countless hours, but it's because we love it and we believe deeply in Meriden and bringing theater and culture back to Meriden.
And I've greatly appreciated it. I know so many of our residents appreciate it, and so do surrounding towns. I mean, this isn't just appeal to our Meriden residents, but and I think that's part of our goal in revitalizing our downtown and really making it more arts oriented, is how to bring people downtown. Mm-hmm. And community theater and everything Castle Craig has done and continues to do, I know is only going to help assist those efforts. So I'm pleased to be a part of it, and I am pleased to be a part of the future of all that it's going to bring to Meriden as well. You mentioned having the idea of saying, can we do a big production like that? We're doing The Wizard of Oz right now.
Yeah.
As co-directors, maybe Ian, if you could say a little bit of what that's been like for such a large cast, including both, adults and children and live animals, the challenges you've faced.
I think with each big show that we do, we all start out saying, how are we going to do this? We said it before Hello Dolly, we said it before The Sound of Music, we said it, all these huge musicals. But I think personally that when you strip these shows down of huge set pieces, huge orchestras, huge traps and things that fly in and out, you are left with the characters themselves and the actors themselves. So there's nothing to hide behind as a performer. And so it really brings the audience a much more intimate look at the story, the performances, because there's nothing else to take their minds
Get in the way.
Yeah. And it's the challenge for the actors that, there's nothing to hide behind. And the audience is so close, which I love,
So, it does. That goes back to the size of the theater, which has its pluses and has its drawbacks. It certainly has its minuses. Yeah. Mark, if you could talk a little bit about what it's been like for this show. There's obviously some pretty large pieces and things. I recall having to cut beds in half and trying to bring them on in different pieces. Yeah. So what has this show been like for you as
Tetris, a giant game of Tetris?
It literally is. We have some very, very large pieces of set that need to come on and come off. We have a very small space behind us, so a lot of it goes behind us, or most of it ends up going downstairs. So we always have to say that line of make a hole, because you got to make sure that the cast is out of the way so the crew can do their thing to make sure that the cast is, everything all comes to pieces, the big game of Tetris. So it's very, very difficult, but got a lot of help. The cast actually is helping with moving things. We did get some additional help for stage crew recently, so that's going to help. But one of the advantages, I'd like to touch on this, one of the things that we've done in the past year and a half is made some investments in the space. And this used to be, the stage area used to be locked with 3 walls that had multiple openings, and for the most part, those openings didn't move. But what we decided to do about a year and a half ago was tear down the walls. I felt like Reagan, tear down the wall. So we tore down the walls, and we decided to hang fabric, which are called legs. So that was the first phase, and that gave us 4 entrances along both sides. But the things that we did recently is, you can see this big white space behind us, that's called the cyc. That allows us to do some projections, not only with light, but also with the recent projector that we bought. So we're making investments into the theater itself to continue to increase the overall quality of the show, bringing more people in here to see shows of this caliber. And we do a variety of shows of this kind of caliber. These big musicals, and then we do some very intimate murder mysteries or stage readings, all different types to look for a broader audience. And I think we're doing a good job with that, to be perfectly honest. Something we're very proud of is these enhancements that we're making. So if you haven't come to Castle Craig Players to see one of our shows, this is probably the one you don't want to miss. This is going to have every single thing that you can imagine, including a dog, right here in Meriden.
So we do the large, stage productions such as this and the variety of other shows. for those who don't know, Castle Craig doesn't only put on one show a year or two shows a year. Maybe Melanie, you could speak to a little bit about maybe what's to come this year and just overall how we've built up to do so many shows per year.
We currently we do 5 shows a year, 2 big musicals usually. We usually do a murder mystery and then a holiday show and a drama or a comedy or some other non-musical. And we've built
And
from.
some are, I don't mean to,
No, go right ahead,
some are
Kevin.
like a dinner theater.
Some are
So they
presented
can-
dinner theater, some are just regular seating, but sometimes it is a dinner theater, which our audiences love. It depends on the show, if it lends itself to that. And we started years ago really just doing Christmas shows. And then it was Christmas shows and a Broadway review. So we've gone from that to, 5, sometimes even 6 shows a year. So we're constantly, something's constantly happening here. We're constantly in motion. So following The Wizard of Oz this summer, we have the musical Cabaret, which we're very excited about. Totally different feeling than The Wizard of Oz. Maybe not so much for children, but a really wonderful and exciting classic that Ian will be directing. So we're very excited about that. And then we will very soon be announcing our our new season, which will begin in the fall.
So, I mean, if you really haven't been down here, we encourage you to come down, check out this very intimate theater, but all the great productions and shows that go on here. These 3 are just a small snippet of those that are behind the scenes putting these shows on. And I want to thank you very much for allowing us to come into your space, checking it out a little bit. I know we're going to stay after, watch some of the rehearsal. We're literally about to take, you can hear the buzz backstage.
They're buzzing, yeah, they're excited.
They're coming on soon. So the show begins this weekend, Friday, May 13th, 14th, and 15th, and then again the following weekend, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So if you haven't gotten your tickets are selling fast.
That's right.
They are.
We implore you to get on the website.
Yeah, go to
which is-
castlecraig.org and click the link for brown paper tickets. You get all the information you need there. We actually, for this show, are introducing a senior discount for those 65 and older, so take advantage
Much
of
requested. You're welcome.
that. So
So
take
you can
advantage
get
of
your
that.
discounts.
I'll get my
Yeah.
discount.
But again,
Perfect.
castlecraig.org for all the information you need.
So we're coming right back. Don't leave. We're going to come back with 3 leads of the show. We've got Dorothy, the Cowardly Lion, and the Tin Man coming up right after this. Welcome back. And with me now are 3 of the leads from the upcoming show here at Castle Craig this weekend. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, and if you could just say your name and what character you'll be performing in the upcoming show.
Oh, we're to start with me. I'm Wesley Tack, and I play the Cowardly Lion.
I'm Emma Chaplinsky, and I'm playing Dorothy Gale.
And I'm Dan Schmidt. I'm the Tin Man, and I'm also the costumer for this production.
Now, already we've heard about really the history and tradition of Castle Craig Players and really what it's brought all of Meriden for so many years. What does Castle Craig Players mean to you if you've done shows here before in the past, or being new, what have you learned of Castle Craig Players?
Well, me personally, I've been coming to do shows here since the summer of 2009, since I was a student at Maloney High School, actually. So it's been a big part of my life for a really long time now. I love the people here. A lot of the people who come back, the regulars, it's kind of like coming home to a big family, which is really nice. When you go away to college, you come back, you still have a nice group of people to come back to. So it's really meant, a lot to me over the years.
Yeah, the familiarity of it. I've been with the organization just under 10 years now, and I'm on my 20th show. This is, I believe, my 20th if I've kept count correctly. Yeah, so I try to keep a full schedule. The show is my other life, not just the show, but the theater itself, and it gives me something to occupy my time with that's worthwhile and helps community, and it really enriches my life.
And it's your 20th show, and it's my first time working with Castle Craig all together. But it's been wonderful. It's like, unlike so many other theaters, it's just so great to see how professional the cast and the crew is and how much they want to strive for the best quality, highest quality show that we can possibly put on. So
And Dan, you've seen it from both sides.
Yes.
You've seen it from on stage and
I
behind
see it from
stage.
all over, so there's a lot going into it, and the cast and crew should be very proud of what they're putting together for this production.
So you've done shows in the past, and this is your first year at Castle
This is
Craig?
my first at Castle Craig, but I've done shows since I was 12, and actually Wizard of Oz was my first show. So
Oh, wow, that's
same
cool.
part.
I
So
didn't know
oh yeah, it's a long history with Oz.
Come full circle.
Yeah.
So I've, in case Dan, I don't know if you know, I've got a long history with Castle Craig as well. I've done shows with Wesley and Emma. Dan, obviously not working with you before. Sorry. Maybe sometime in the near future.
Someday in the future.
Carve out some time to come back
Oh
and do
yeah,
another
you and I
show.
were what, Guys and Dolls, South Pacific. Good Lord,
Yeah, a lot. I don't know.
a lot. Well, I do.
A lot of memories on
A
the
lot of
stage.
good memories,
We'll go
yeah.
through.
So this really is, like Emma said, like a family. And so Dan, welcome to
Thank
the
you.
family.
Welcome.
There
Welcome,
are
Dan.
there's a pretty large cast, obviously, with adults and children in the show, which is a little unique. I know not every show has that type of diversity in it. What's it been like to work with such a large cast?
It's been really fun. I mean, we also have a dog in the play too, a real dog.
Oh, that's right.
A puppy
Toto,
playing
right?
Toto. He's adorable, and it's just been really, really fun. You know, it's a lot of people, but we've been able to manage, and it's really, really cool once you see all the effort we're putting in. And the Munchkins are fabulous. They've been here, putting in lots of time, learning their dances every night. So we've got a lot of kids involved in the show from the community and around. So that's been great to have. Yeah, it's been a lot, a lot of people.
Yeah, it is fun working with the dog, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, he's really cute. He's really, really cute.
But anyway, no, I love it. I think the cast is marvelous. The parts could not have been cast better.
It's great.
Especially mine. No.
He really does a good job.
So, what can people expect? Show obviously starting this weekend, Friday the 13th, nonetheless.
Right.
But this weekend, 13th, 14th, and 15th, and then again next weekend. What can people expect, take away from coming in and seeing the show in really this intimate theater? What
Well, it's the all-American classic, and it's the movie come to life right in front of everybody. It's got all the magic. It has all the oohs, the ahs that you can possibly think that would go into the show.
And it's really fun because for us, it's been kind of like you get the chance to step into your favorite movie as a kid and kind of be in that world. And as an audience member, it's going to feel like that. So if you have kids that are coming, you know, bring your whole family. It really is going to feel like you're watching the movie, but more. Like,
We've made every effort to replicate the Technicolor happy-go-lucky feel of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Great lengths.
oh yes.
So, I mean, what type of? We've got a few set pieces behind us here. What are some of the challenges with that, or maybe hauling off on and off different set pieces? There's not a lot of room backstage for those who don't.
Very
know.
little. Very little.
So, I mean, what type of set pieces? What type of technology is going in? I mean, obviously we've got, the Great Wizard of Oz. But how is this kind of?
We have effects. We're not going to give too much away, but we have effects.
No spoiler alerts. in
No
this?
spoiler
We're
alerts.
giving,
Yeah.
we're
You have
achieving
to come
effects
and
through various different means. We're using a projector, smoke machines. I won't tell you for what we're using those individual things for, but just for example.
There's also some of the costumes are incredibly lifelike, but I know what Dan has made in terms of, if you remember the trees from the film, the trees that throw the apples at Dorothy,
Yep.
those costumes, can I just say, are amazing.
Thank
and
you.
they come out and they look like big scary trees, but they're still able to move around, and you just do a really
So
excellent
Dan,
job with
from a
those.
costume side, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
a
you're
sec.
fine, yeah.
From a costume side, what has this been like?
Exhausting. The Wizard of Oz is definitely one of the most technically challenging shows to ever costume, just because there's so much that goes into it. And it's not like it's an obscure title. It's the Wizard of Oz. Who doesn't know it?
Right.
So you need to get these costumes at least in the ballpark to what you remember as a kid. And to add to that magic, the idea of going from the sepia tone into the color, getting that nice bright change, we're doing that. We're doing that
Wow.
full effect with the costumes. We're looking for Lion to be bigger than life. We're looking for Tin Man to be fully articulated. He might have his toot in his dance. He might have that classic. You're just looking for something so recognizable, but something unique, and marrying the two and making this very tight group of people look like they deserve to look, and really bringing those characters to life. So,
And you mentioned it, that this obviously being the Wizard of Oz, everyone of all types of generations know and have seen this show. So, I mean, as the leads in this show, are you kind of feeling the pressure a little bit?
A little bit. I mean, considering Dorothy was played by Judy Garland in the film, that's like, she's like.
And that's no small
Ooh.
task.
No, it's not. But, you know, kind of make it my own while I was still trying to do an homage to the great Judy Garland, you know, but.
She does a great Judy Garland surprise face.
Thanks.
Oh,
You know, I mean, but it's been you know, a challenge, but I think we've risen to the occasion. I think we're doing.
I
really
think
good
so.
job. Yeah.
Well, in working with two of the three of you, I know, you know, the commitment and dedication you guys have. And Dan, hearing, you know, what it's been like for you on both sides of things, giving it your all in this show, I know it's going to go off phenomenally. I don't want to take up too much more time because I know you guys have rehearsal tonight. This is kind of the start of, you know, your tech week here. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time out.
Thanks.
I encourage everyone to come out. I've already been told that a couple of shows have already been completely sold out. For anyone who's not been down here to Castle Craig Players, it's located right in the heart of downtown Meriden, giving back to our community for so many years, over 20 years down here. And this really close-knit group of actors and directors who we've kind of met with and seen through today. I encourage everyone to come out this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 13th, 14th, and 15th, and again the following weekend. If you guys, where can they buy tickets?
Online, if you go to castlecraig.org, there is a link to brown paper tickets, and you can go right online and pay for tickets right there.
Perfect. So get out there, buy your tickets now. They're going fast. We encourage everyone to come out. Thank you guys very much. Break a leg on the show.
you, Kevin.
Come out and see the Wizard of Oz at Castle Craig Players.
That I'm sure to get a brain